to the Lawn Pro tutorial on how to process events, and in particular, the personal events. We'll walk through it now. Clock in. Next, we need to set up some filters in order to be able to see what events we want to process. Right now, we are in the Today view, Grid view, and we are in the Schedule module, which is here. I'm going to click this. I'm going to come down and click the Schedule module, and it will reload. And it will default to monthly. So we'll switch that back to today. Anytime you refresh, it'll end up switching back to monthly. But you'll have to click today. Once there, you'll also need to return back to grid view. Always make sure you're in Today view and grid view to begin the process. Here, I'm not in grid view. I'll click it again. This will always be the starting point. Always place yourself at today and grid view. Then double check that you're looking at the date of today. If for any reason you weren't, you would click today. Today is Sunday, July the 20th, and I can see some events here, and they're only for Sunday, July the 20th. I'm going to check my other filters, and they say any. 4 any's, and that's the default view. Depending on what you want to do, you may group this, you may ungroup it. Right now, we don't need to do anything with it. This is the starting point, but where we will go from here is over to all events. Once we're in the all events area, we need to continue on with our filters. We will notice here we are still in any. First, I'll need to switch the date range. I want to process personal events, but I don't know exactly what date do I want to start. So I have to find out when was the last personal event. Personal events are always assigned to one customer, and that customer is Depot Lawncare. All the personal events are always assigned to us. So we will start the process by clicking the Depot Lawncare customer. Once the Depot Lawncare customer loads up, we will see that a lot of the events go into the future, and we don't need that. That's not necessary. We need them to be in the past because we're looking for personal events that are closed. So we're going to switch the date range. You have to click on it once and then let it wait and reload. Now that it's almost reloaded, I can see the dates. I'm going to take the dates, and I need to pick a far enough period that seems reasonable. I'm going to say that we're going to go into the custom range here, and I'm going to choose 3 months back, just to be sure. So I'm going to kick July, June, May 1st, and then I'm going to take it all the way through today. Today is July the 20th. There. Once they're both selected, it'll show up here, May 1st through July the 20th, and the button will turn green, and I can hit apply. Now I am only looking at personal events or I'm sorry, I'm only looking at depot lawn care events during the last 3 months, and they're now not going past June the 20th, which is today's date. And as I look down, I see many personal events. They won't all be purely personal. There may be the occasional lawn mow. There may be the occasional lawn mow. So we will not want to select these. When it's time to select, we'll pass those by. However, we do have all of these other personals. And the point is to process the personals. So here in this column, I can see information and I can see that it says invoiceable. So no invoice has been made from all of these personals. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to invoice all of these. So I'm going to keep scrolling back until they switch to invoiced. Once they switch to invoiced, I will know that that day happens to be here, July the 6th. Everything after there can be processed. Now I have some here that are undone, but I can handle that in the same step because it's a personal and they're still open. You may always want to ask either me or Trent to figure out if something is happening here. Maybe someone's in the middle of a correction. But if it's a personal, that means it's a $0 ticket. There's usually not going to be any corrections to be made. So we will start here because this is where all the invoices switch. These are all already invoiced. And then up here they switch. So I'm going to first come all the way back up to the top. I'm going to hit select all because most of them are personal. And then I'm going to scroll down until I see one that perhaps does not have a $0. Notice these all have $0. When I see one that does not have $0, I will know that it's a lawn mow. There it is. So I need to uncheck that one. Keep going till I see one that has $40 or any amount of money. But $40 is our lawn mow. And that's usually the only service that you'll see. Every once in a while there'll be an MMM. Alrighty, so none are left. And now I have these that are already invoiced. I don't need to re-invoice them. So I'll unselect them. Well, it's giving me a trouble there. There we go. Alrighty. Unselect the rest of them. And now all of these are ready to go. If for any reason I had more to do, I could go to page 2 here. And just to confirm it, when I click on page 2, I should see nothing but just all invoiced. And here they are. They're all invoiced. They're looking pretty good. I scroll all the way to the bottom of page 2, and the rest of them would also be, so I'll just return back to page 1. Now, unfortunately, I may have just cleared all my selections. I'll have to do that again. That is unfortunate, but it won't be hard. I'll do it at full speed now. So you hit select all, and now you are looking to deselect anything that has money attached to it. I already missed it. Where did it go? I think I did. There it is. Oops. Unselect it. Come down to the bottom, and then unselect all of these. Alrighty, and that's the last one there. And once that's done, I come up here and I press close and invoice right there. So any of them that may have still been open, this will close them. And then after they're closed, it will also invoice them. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Click on the yes, that I do want to invoice them. This may take up to 1 or 2 minutes if there's a huge batch to process. Could be faster. Once we're done, we'll be heading over to the invoice area and we will be completing the process. All right, so here we have them all showing now invoiced. They're all green. The one that's gray is there with the $40. And they're all invoiced, so we're feeling pretty good about that. We're ready to go to the next step. The next step is we need to verify where they are and then archive them. So after we're done here, we're going to go to the finances area. And we're going to click on invoices. After that, we will be looking at many events that have the date July the 20th because we just processed them and they're on July the 20th. So today is July the 20th. We just invoiced them and processed them now. So all these that have the July the 20th are probably the ones that we just processed. However, we need to make sure. And how we make sure is we make sure that they're all $0. So notice how all these have $0, $0. That's good. So what are we going to do? We want to basically put these into what's called the archive. So just as we did before, to get them into the archive, we're going to select them all and then press that button to get them archived. However, we're going to create a date range that just has today's date. We only want it to have the date of today, the July the 20th. We're going to click on this. We're going to go custom range, and we're going to go July the 20th. And apply. All right. Now I'll show here July the 20th through July 20th. And here we have 000, and we'll go all the way down the page. And at the very bottom, the page totals still remain 00000. That's because I only process these events today. So that is very important. Had other people been working in LawnPro today and had been invoicing, there would be other events for July the 20th. So this is a really good process to do on the weekend. Normally no one else is working on the weekend. This job is a little bit easier just because of that. So here we are. It says that we've got 1 out of 108 out of 189. Sorry, 1 out of 89. 89 total events. If it was more than 100, it would go into a page 2, but there's no page 2. So we will, like we did before, scroll up here, click this box. It'll highlight all of them. You can see that they're all highlighted. That's the reason that they're all turning red. And then we will come and hit the archive button. Yes. Alrighty, now they are all gone and they have been archived. And then the last step, we want to see them in the archive. We want to see what we've done. Here is the archive. So whenever I click a button, if it turns gray, it turns it on. So I'm seeing any, I'm seeing active, I'm seeing draft, I'm seeing pending, I'm seeing past due, I'm seeing partial. I am not seeing paid invoices because it's white. I am seeing written off. And what I want to see is the archive. So I'm going to click on the archive. It's going to show me the archives. Here are all the archives. And this is that same filter for July the 20th. And when I look for July the 20th in the archive, I I get all the way to the bottom, and they're all zeros. So I know that these are all my events. Look, it all says Depot Lawn Care, Depot Lawn Care, Depot Lawn Care. I'm looking good. And that pretty much concludes that step. If we wanted to do a very small review at the very, very end, we could then just simply return back to the events area, which is in the schedule. Schedule. We're going to return to the all events. Alrighty, and we're back here. We've got our filter is changed on us. Now it says May 1st to July 20th. No, I'm sorry, that's the same filter we had set originally for this module. It was the 3-month window. And we want to see if any jobs for Depot Lawn Care have yet to be invoiced. And a quick way that we can do that now to double check it is we can say, hey, we want to be looking for not invoiced jobs. We want to be looking at the ones that have not been invoiced. I click on this, and it should show me one event. I believe it'll be one event. And there it is. And this one is the one for the lawn mow. And we're going to leave that alone for today. We'll talk about on another module how to deal with that. But essentially, I know that all the personals for Depot Lawn Care have been cleared, and we've finished the end of that module. Thank you very much.